Welcome back. We are here $3.17 trillion richer. It's a pretty good start if you ask me. Not bad for nearly one full day, 23 hours and change of being away. So let's go see what we can get into today as we try to get things ready toward the end of the week. As you can see, our investor count, we got 8 investors. That's wonderful. We can buy one oil company for $25.7 billion. I wouldn't mind getting one of everything. You get one of everything, you get 5 gold. 5 gold doesn't do you much right now. We're not going to buy a one-day warp or anything, so probably not going to be what I'm looking to do. But still, you know, we want to try to get some oil companies, at least by the end of this episode. It'd be nice to have 25 of everything so that everything is motoring quite a bit faster than it is now. But, you know, having 3 trillion is not a bad thing to start out with. So that's not a bad thing. So we got to figure out exactly where we want to go. We want to try and get a little bit of everything. The bad thing about oil companies is, if you have less than 25, they start out at 10 hours and like 42 minutes or something like that. So 10 hours of time of sitting and waiting for something to revolve around, even if it's going to be worth 12, 13, 14 billion dollars every time, right now is just not cost effective. Now, if we can end up getting up over 25, that'll knock that down. Plus, it'll have the time of everything else up the list. So that's working pretty well. We're still trying to work up other things up a little bit. If we can get up to 50 movies, that'll quicken that up. Get past 25 banks, that'll quicken that up. Plus, it'll add the profit margins of each of them, which would be kind of a big thing as well. And we need 20 more shrimps to get up to 100, which will drop that down to about 11 and a half seconds. So it's not really that bad. I think we're in pretty good shape. Once we start getting everything else, then it'll run pretty well. But, you know, that's just the way it is. Now, we're going to go ahead and get the manager. We got the manager for the oil companies. It's always good to be prepared. And, of course, I'm just totally OCD here, so we got to go up to 60. It's got to be uniform, best as possible. And now we're buying blocks of 10. So I'm going to be looking, let's get these, let's do this. Let's get these banks. I think that's the best move right now. Get the banks moving a little bit faster so we get them bumped up to 30. That still leaves us with a $2.8 trillion. I mean, that's a lot of money. And I'm pretty excited about that. Let's see. We could do all kinds of things right now. We really could. There are so many different things that we could do with the amount of money that we have right now. So let's get these movies moving up. All right, movies are faster. Now we're getting these at about every 6 minutes now instead of 12 minutes. That's kind of a big deal. And let's get these shrimps popped. So now we got the shrimps up to 100. And we still have 2.3 trillion to spend. So as you can see, we're setting ourselves up for a lot of future success. A lot of future success. And I'm actually really stoked about this. It's set up pretty good. Upgrades, the vault for the bank is 50 billion. So let's do that. And now as you can see, 96.7 billion every revolution. And we still have more than enough if we really wanted to go ahead and open up. And there it is, 5 gold. But instead of 1 of everything, we've got 10 of everything now. So as you can see, the bank start out at 296.687. Now, 10 hours, I was wrong, not 10 hours and 40, it's 10 hours and 14, so it's not too bad, but it's still a long time, and the only way you're going to get anything out of that is if you're going to get up to 25, so I think that's kind of our goal. I'd like to see us get up to 25 banks before we end this episode, and that way it'll drop it down to about 2.5 hours. Now the upgrade for the oil company, 250 billion to triple those profits. Might as well. And that takes it up to 890. Ooh, 890 billion. Isn't that wonderful? 890 billion. Now I can tell you right now, once that starts cycling through, these investors are going to go through the roof. You know, right now we got just eight or nine investors, but you know, that's going to start going up. And of course, we're looking at probably doing the hard restart on Monday. You're watching this episode on Saturday. It was actually recorded on Thursday. And the goal was going to be to actually be doing it the day of starting next week. So that's going to be really good. So we got these, here's what we can do for the max. As you can see, we can go all the way up to the 25 for the oil. We can go all the way up there. We can either do that, or we can actually come back and possibly triple everything up with that 1 trillion upgrade. I'm really not sure which I want to do. I mean, you're looking at, there's a lot of things you could do here. Look at this. You could take the banks up to 50, and I'm not sure you could still take the oil fields up to 25. I mean, if you could do 50, 25, that actually may not be bad because you'd have the banks moving pretty swiftly. I don't know. Decisions. It's hard to know. I mean, you look at 25 of everything, as you can see, gets you to that unlock where everything's speed gets cut in half. Everything's speed gets cut in half, and everything means something different as you go down the line. So, honestly, the 25 oil is important because not only does it cut the oil time in half, but then it cuts all 10 of them in half again. So the oil field goes all the way down from 10 hours and 14 minutes to like 2.5 hours. So, and that's a huge change when you're talking about, a 24-hour cycle. Now instead of 2, you get like 8 or 9 of them. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. So now we got this monopoly thing for 1 trillion. It triples everything. So do you try to pay to have the time and make everything come twice as fast, or you just go ahead and triple all the profits? You triple all the profits. Now, I'm pretty sure I'd still be able to buy 10 oil fields even after I tripled the profits. But then after that, there'd only be about 20 trillion left, and that's not going to be enough to do much. So I don't know which way to go. This is one of those decisions where it's kind of difficult, and you want to make sure you're set up for the next 24-hour period of waiting before we record tomorrow's episode, because quite frankly, I want to make sure that I get as close to 50 to 100 of everything going into the weekend when I let it sit for a couple of days without touching it. And it basically gets 70 or 72 hours of just uninterrupted growth. Because I want to come in Monday with a lot of angels. I want to do the first restart. But I only get set up well if we make sure that we're getting enough revolutions. So that goal, my real goal is to make sure I'm up to 50 of everything minimum by the end of episode 4, which is tomorrow. So we got to decide what we do. Now, I can do the whole big triple up, or I can probably get banks to 50 and oil fields to 25. And that's the real decision. That's the decision you have to make. And let's be honest, tripling up the lemons from 1,200 to 3,600, that's not going to make the bottom line move for trillions of dollars over 24 hours. It's just not. So we have to understand that. We just have to understand exactly what's going on here. So I've got to try and figure out which way I want to go here. Gee whiz. And the thing is, because we haven't got more of these up there and the time is still moving a little bit slower, I'm not going to sit here and wait for 96.7 billion for another 28 minutes. I'm just not going to do it. Even though it would pop it up over 1.8 and probably give me some more buying power, it's not, you're not going to sit and wait. Even if I tripled it up with the trillion, I'm not going to sit and wait for the banks to clear so that I could try and buy another 10 oil. I actually want to go ahead and see what I could do here. So I don't know, whatever I'm going to do, I want to do it in this mode. So let's go up to 5 here. Okay, that means 900. Yes. All right. See what I'm saying? 2.5 hours, 25 oil. Okay, and that was not a bad decision. I'm actually happy with that decision because, I want to make sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that we're going to have plenty of money going into the next episode. I'd like to make a run at getting as many of these up to 100 as I can before going into the weekend. Now, instead of, like I said, instead of 2 in a 24-hour period, you're going to get like 8 or 9 in a 24-hour period, and that's the difference of about 10 to 12 trillion dollars. over the course of 24 hours. So, I'm figuring next episode I'll have 25 trillion maybe. I don't know, as it stands right now. Now I could still go ahead and buy 10 more. Yeah, let's do it. 10 more banks. Now that ups it to 128.9. That works for me. Let's go ahead and do that. 10 more hockey up to 70. Basically now since we know we're going to be cranking through, let's just crank through. Now, as you can see here, we're almost up to another 128.9 billion. And then you're going to have that. So we can get two right now of the banks. Now let's take this up. I like this because honestly, if you, like we said, with the newspapers, everything gets affected. So we get up to 150, it's going to double that car wash. Just like at 125, it doubled the lemonades. It's a very important thing. Very important thing to remember is that the newspapers affect everything. Anything that you would be able to buy a newspaper ad for, car wash, pizzas, donuts, etc. Even the shrimp at some point get affected by like a times 11. It's pretty crazy. So it's going to affect all the others too. So that's why eventually the newspapers end up becoming one of the most expensive things to buy. It just does. But let's looky here. Why not? 300, the justiest. And we bumped up to 1,800. Now, I didn't mind that move at all. Bumping up to 300 lemons, to me, it's a trendsetter for me. But it didn't eat up a ton of my money. It barely ate up 20% of what I had. We've still got 114 billion to work with, but there's just not a lot we can do with it now. There's just not a lot that we're going to be able to do with this. But we are set up pretty good with the oil fields going up. So. We'll see how this is going. I'm pretty excited about where we're set up. Going to get a lot more oil field revolutions. Like I said, I think I'm going to end up right around the 20 to 25 trillion mark to go into the next episode with. And as you can see, right now to buy 100 oil fields is over 1.7 quadrillion from where we're at right now to go from 25 to 125. So, but you don't get a bonus or anything over 100. Once you get to 100, then most of your bonuses are only over 100. And investors were up to 9. And as you can see, eventually things get cheaper. You use angels for a lot of things, but you got to have a whole bunch of angels to start using those. And I'm not going to waste angels early on any of that stuff. That cash per second, I never have understood that. Never have desired to see that in any way. So, okay, so if you look at blocks of 10 right now, we've got some car washes. And so, we could buy 10 car washes. We could buy 10 pizzas. There's a lot of things that we could buy 10 of right now. I'd love to sit here and say, hey, we're going to sit and wait. And, maybe I could time warp or whatever and wait and get 10 more banks and jump and find that. But we're not going to. So let's just go ahead and do this. All right, boom, boom. All right, so we've added 10 pizzas and 10 car washes. And I think we pretty much are where we're going to be. I don't see a lot of other things that we could do. We've got managers, we've got, everything that we need. Everything's kind of cruising. So it looks like this is where we're going to be heading into tomorrow's episode. So we'll let this shake and bake for about 23, 24 hours, and we'll come back tomorrow. And, of course, with the way things are going over the weekend and us trying to catch up in this time issue of where we started the series and when I started recording it, even when I'm not actually recording anything over the weekend, you're going to see this on Saturday, and then tomorrow's episode that I record, you'll probably watch Sunday, and then we'll be back on regular time. So, hope you're enjoying the episode. Leave a like, comment, whatever. Let us know what you think about this little series. It's different from everything else we've done. I like a little variety every now and then, and quite frankly, this is a great veg out game. And those investors are going to go up. I'm kind of excited about that. So, but we're going to see where we're going to go, and hopefully you're enjoying this as much as I am. This really got me through a lot of times of sickness. So, Anyway, this is Big Daddy Hop, and hopefully you're enjoying this, and you'll come back for the next episode of Adventure Capitalist here on Hop Gaming. So until we see you again, we're just going to be letting this run. And as you can tell, I'm kind of vamping because I'm trying to see whether or not I want to sit and wait and try and buy another 10 car washes or something, but I don't think it's going to make it. So anyway, we're just going to leave it here. Stay well, be good, and enjoy some gaming and have a lot of fun. Talk to you later. Take care.